Good morning for our friends in the West Coast. Good afternoon for those of you in the East Coast. My name is Ana Kammerer. I'm with Emerging Destinations. We are a sales and marketing representation company in US and Canada. And today we will have our friend Sarah Ranford from Las Torres Reserve, who will be introducing us Hotel Las Torres Patagonia. But before passing everything over to Sarah, just wanted to share with you a brief overview of who we are, what we do, and the clients we have in the portfolio. So as I was mentioning before, my name is Ana. I'm part of the Emerging Destinations team. I'm based in Buenos Aires in Argentina, but we have Paula based in LA, in California. We have Jenna based in Canada, and the owner of the company, Jane Barron, who is based in Atlanta. So between the four of us, we represent cool companies in cool places around the globe. As you can see on your screen now, this is our portfolio of cool companies in cool places. We represent different DMCs, hotels, lodges, cruises, and a few tourism boards as well in Africa, Europe, and Central and South America. You have my contact information at the bottom of the page, so anything you need, if you want to schedule a training session on a specific product or destination, or if you want to schedule a training session and go over the entire portfolio, please feel free to drop me a line at anna@emergingdestinations.com. Of course, I will not present all the companies that we have in the portfolio today because that will take a lot of time, but because we are presenting Hotel Las Torres Patagonia in Chile today, I will just focus in our clients on the Central and South America portfolio. In Ecuador, we represent Enchanted Expeditions, who is a GMC with offices in Quito and the Galapagos Islands. They also own a beautiful 10-rooms lodge, which is Enchanted Galapagos Lodge in Santa Cruz Island in the Galapagos. And they own and operate 3 motor yacht cruises sailing around the Galapagos Islands in 6 and 8 days itineraries. We have the Passion cruise, which is the luxury boat, and then we have Beluga and Cachalote Explorer on the first class category. So this is what we have in Ecuador. In Panama, we represent La Coralina Island House, which is the newest luxury resort in Bocas del Toro archipelago on the Caribbean Sea and close to the border with Costa Rica. Then we represent the country, the Tourism Board of Guyana, which is the only English-speaking country as a first language in South America. We also represent Hidalgo Tours and Palacio de Sal Hotel. Hidalgo Tours is a GMC in Bolivia. They customize any itinerary that you need to explore Bolivia, and then they own also Palacio de Sal Hotel, which is a 42 rooms, 5-star property located on the shores of the Uyuni salt flats in southern Bolivia, and the first salt hotel in the world. And last but not least, we represent our newest client in the Americas portfolio is River House Lodge Patagonia, which is a 6-room lodge, a 5-star property located on the banks of the Chimawin River, just 20 minutes drive from San Martín de los Andes in northern Patagonia in Argentina, or around 2 hours and a half drive from the famous city of Bariloche, also in Argentina. So this is a brief overview of our portfolio in Central and South America. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And before passing everything over to Sarah from Las Torres Patagonia, I would like to give you a few housekeeping notes for today's webinar. First thing is that This webinar is being recorded, so if you have to answer the phone, if you have to step away or go for lunch or to bring a cup of coffee, don't worry. We are recording the webinar and we will be uploading this recording on our website as well as on our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations, which I encourage you to subscribe to. We will be also sending all of you a follow-up email next Monday. And on those follow-up email, you will be able to access not only this recording, but also some digital and marketing materials from Las Torres Patagonia and Hotel Las Torres Patagonia, such as the rates for this upcoming 2024-2025 season, the menu of excursions, photo gallery, videos, etc. So please expect to get an email from us next Monday with this recording and further information and materials from Las Torres Patagonia. Last but not least, Sarah and I, we will be answering any questions you may have at the end of Sarah's presentation. You can type your questions on the control panel on your right. And as soon as Sarah ends her presentation, I will be going one by one on those questions on the control panel, and Sarah will be answering them. So if you have any doubt, any question, whatever you need to know that is not being presented during the webinar, please type your question on the control panel, and Sarah will be answer those at the end of the presentation. Let's get started, and let me introduce to Sarah Ranfon, who is Global Account Manager for Las Torres Patagonia and Hotel Las Torres Reserve. And let me pass the control to her computer so you can see her presentation. Over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Anna. Let me bring up my presentation here. Oh, that didn't work. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, there we go. So welcome everybody. Thank you, Anna, for the introduction. I am the Global Accounts Manager for Las Torres, which means that you may have seen me a couple weeks ago or on sales trips to the US. I'm kind of back and forth to all of our main markets, meaning the US, Canada, also Europe and Australia. So I love talking about Las Torres and Patagonia. I'm based here in Chile in Santiago, but Chile and Patagonia, sorry Anna, Chile and Patagonia is one of my favorite places in the world. So I'm very passionate and happy to tell you all about Las Torres today. So this presentation is going to focus specifically on the Hotel Las Torres, but I will talk a little bit about Las Torres Reserve, which is the bigger part of the Las Torres company. But first, let's get to the basics. What is Torres del Paine? You may or may have not heard of Torres del Paine before. This is considered by many to be one of the 8 natural wonders of the world, for very good reason. It's beautiful scenery. We have mountains, turquoise colored lakes, glaciers, rivers, and an abundance of endemic wildlife that you can only find here in Chile, and specifically in this region. So the Chilean puma, here is the largest puma in the world, the Chilean condor, the huemul deer, which is an endangered species, and just an abundance of bird life. So if you have avid bird watchers, they love Patagonia. So where is Las Torres located? So we are in Torres del Paine National Park, as I just mentioned. This is in the region of Magallanes, the southernmost region of Chile, way down at the bottom of the country. Chile is a long, skinny country, and we're down at the bottom. This is the last continental region of Chile before you get to Antarctica. So it can be pretty cold. We are a seasonal operation, so from October to April each year. So think opposite seasons as in the Northern Hemisphere, so from our springtime to fall time. Torres del Paine National Park is about, makes up 227,000 hectares. That's approximately 450,000 acres. So it's a really, really big park. And Las Torres Patagonia, our reserve, actually makes up 2% of the national park territory. So 2% may not sound like a lot, but when we're talking about 227,000 hectares, it's a really big space and it's really important. So everything that you see here, this is an aerial view of the park. Everything that is highlighted in green, so from the Serón sector up on the northeast down to the Français sector or French sector, which is kind of in the middle. All of that green area actually belongs to Las Torres Reserve. So when you start to research Torres del Paine and Patagonia in Chile, you will probably hear a lot about the W circuit and the O circuit. These are famous trekking circuits. These are kind of like the Dolomites or the Kilimanjaro to avid hikers of South America, right? So the W sector, the W trail or circuit is that orange line that looks like a W. That's where it gets its name from. And then when you add the yellow line to that, that is the complete O circuit. So these are going to be 4 to up to 10-day trekking circuits. And as I mentioned, we own and operate all of that green area, which is about half of the entire circuit. So it's a really important space. These are all of the campsites, the trails, the mountain hostels, and of course our Hotel Las Torres, which we're about to talk about. All of these spaces are operated and maintained by Las Torres. So you may be asking yourself, how are we able to exist and operate as a private estancia or a private ranch in the middle of a public national park? Basically, we were grandfathered in. So the Kusanovic family arrived here from Croatia in the early 1900s in 1905, when there was nothing. The national park didn't exist. There was no infrastructure or anything, and they were actually cattle ranchers for about 100 years. We actually moved the cattle out of the park for sustainability purposes in 2013, but they were cattle ranchers for a long time until the 1990s when they started to see foreign tourists arriving here and pitching their tents. And as I mentioned, there was no infrastructure and the weather in Patagonia can be pretty brutal at times. So they decided to open up their home to these travelers, give them a warm bed and some hot food. And that 9-bedroom house at the time is what is today our 74-bedroom hotel. So because of our long history here in the park, we offer a truly authentic Patagonian experience. We have close to 200 horses on site. We're the only ones with horses, being a privately owned ranch. As you can see here, we have the vaquianos, as we call them, or you may have heard the word gaucho before. The Chilean cowboys are on site. They are the ones that take care of the horses, and we have lots of opportunities for our guests to learn about their culture, and in this way we help to preserve the local culture. And in addition to cultural preservation, we also do a lot of conservation work. We're in an incredibly privileged, very special part of the world, and we recognize that, which is why we created AMA Torres del Paine. This is our own NGO just a couple of years ago, and these are actually sustainability experts that are 100% dedicated to our sustainable initiatives, plural. There's a lot of them. So trail rebuilding, our organic garden on site, our welcome center, reforestation projects, among many others. We have a really great video on our YouTube site, which I highly recommend taking a look at. It highlights 10 of our current sustainability initiatives, if that's something that's important to you. It's a nice watch. So now getting into what we came for, the hotel. So Hotel Las Torres is all-inclusive, so all daily meals, open bar, guided excursions each day in small groups. All of our guides speak English, and all of the transfers to and from the nearest airports are included in the rates. So the nearest airports would be Puerto Natales is the closest, at about 2 hours away from the hotel. We also include the transfers to and from Punta Arenas, which is about 5 hours away. And then also to and from El Calafate. So I don't think any other hotel is still including the El Calafate transfers in their rates. So this is a huge benefit that you get when you book with Las Torres. We don't have any minimum stay requirements to get that transfer. It's always included in the rates, and it's every day. So there's no scheduled there's scheduled transfer times, but it's not certain days of the week. It's every day, just depending on guest demand. So that's a huge plus for booking with Las Torres if you have clients especially that want to combine the Argentine and Chilean sides of Patagonia. So as I mentioned, all of the excursions are also included in the rates. Now we're going into what the hotel looks like. So as you can see, a very traditional estancia or ranch style. We are in the best location of the park, which is right at the base, at the start of the base of the Towers Trail. So when you walk out of our hotel, when you walk out of your room in the morning, you are already on the most famous trail in the park, which is the trail up to the famous base of the towers. You can kind of see them peeking out a little bit up there on the top right. We have 74 rooms here. 72 of them are all superior category rooms. This is what they look like right now. So very simple Patagonian style, very traditional, but we are actually renovating. So by next season, we're planning to have all of the rooms still going to keep that simple Patagonian style, but they're going to have a little bit of a facelift. So please look out for that. But in the meantime, this is what they look like. There's no televisions in the room. There's very shoddy internet. So the idea here is really to disconnect and connect with nature. Right. We also have 2 junior suites, which are a little bit more spacious. They have their own jacuzzis in the room as well, a nice desk area. And it's just a little bit of a more luxurious option if your clients are looking for that. And then for dining options, as I mentioned, all of the meals are included in the rates. We have 3 areas, including Bar Pionero. This is the heart of the hotel. This is where everybody kind of gathers at the end of the day to socialize and compare what they did on excursions. Here we have more classic bar fare, so pizzas and sandwiches and burgers and more simple fare like that. We had in an earlier photo that I showed the Coiron restaurant, which is the hotel restaurant. It's a little bit fancier, a little bit more gourmet, but always using locally sourced ingredients. About 80–85% of the ingredients on our menus actually come from our own organic garden. And then we also have the quincho area, which you see here. The quincho is a little bit more of a cultural and more intimate experience. It only seats up to 15 people. As you can see here, this is a traditional Patagonian barbecue with the lamb roasted on the spit. I'm very sorry, vegetarians, but the roasted lamb is a very big part of the Patagonian culture. Because it only sits up to 15 people, we do recommend booking it in advance, but it's also included in the rates. And then just back to Bar Pionero really quickly, we always like to mention Federico. Fede is our bartender. He actually recently won the Adventure Travel Association's Sustainable Cocktail Award, so we're very proud of that. He makes all of the glassware using recycled materials, even the straws he makes from copper. Everything is made by hand by him. So it's a very, very interesting job that he does, and he loves to interact with guests. So if you have clients that come and stay with us, they will surely get to meet Federico. He loves to challenge them to go out into the garden and choose their own herbs and vegetables and things, and he'll come up with a inspired and tailored drink for them. As I mentioned earlier, we have close to 200 horses on site. The horses are a very big part of Las Torres Patagonia and one of our biggest USPs. As I mentioned, we're the only ones with horses. They serve lots of purposes, including bringing supplies to the different mountain hostels and camping areas around the park. They're used for emergencies to help bring people down with injuries. And then also they are available for excursions for our guests only. We don't rent them out to other hotels or tour operators, anything like that. They're exclusively for Las Torres guests. So we have lots of room for them. If you have avid horseback riders, they're going to have tons of pampa to gallop through. Even if they've never been on a horse before, we have very easy excursions just for, just to be able to say that they were on a horse with the gauchos in Patagonia. And then we also have a couple of cultural excursions as well, where even if they don't want to get on a horse, they can just go out into the stables. They can learn how to drink mate, which is the like traditional tea drink that is very common in the southern cone in both Argentina and Chile. There's a whole ritual around it, so they can learn how to drink mate and just spend the morning with the Baquianos and learn about their culture and how they take care of the horses. And then we have a small wellness center on site. We don't call it a spa. We're definitely not a spa concept hotel, but we do have a nice little area with massages and treatments available, jacuzzi and sauna, as you see here. The treatments are payable at the hotel. They're not included in the rates, but when you book the all-inclusive program, your clients will automatically get a 20% discount off of the treatments. And I know we're focused on hotel today, but I just wanted to mention, since we do own and operate about half of the famous W and O treks, that we can book those for you as well. If you have more adventurous clients that want to do, the 4, 5, 8, 10 night circuits with camping, we can book that for them as well. We have a couple of options. So the W Express is just 3 nights and 4 days. So it's very quick. You can do the classic W, which I always recommend if you have a little bit more time. It's just 4 nights and 5 days. And then the classic O circuit is generally 8 nights and 9 days in total. So that's going to be for your really, really active clients that want to spend a little bit more time and see the entire park around. We have lots of different options. We actually invested about $2 million in our camping sites last year. So if you've seen pictures of Las Torres before, you may have seen the orange tents that were kind of on platforms on the ground. Now we have these really nice new kind of beige looking tents that blend in much better with the surroundings. They're elevated off the ground for both for comfort and also to allow the natural movement of the animals, of the wildlife in the area. And they're really nice. They actually fit up to 3 people, but we only booked them for 2, so quite spacious. And then depending on which sector you're in, we have cabins and also shared refugios or mountain hostels as well, usually for 6 to 8 people. So we can be really flexible since we are in this prime location within the park and we own about half of the trail of the famous circuit. So even if you have clients that maybe want to do like the W Express and then come back to the hotel and stay for a couple nights and do some other excursions around different areas of the park, we can do that for them as well. So we have that flexibility. But yeah, that is Las Torres Patagonia. I don't know if there's any questions. I know it's a lot of information to take in, so thanks for joining in and listening.
There you go. Thank you, Sarah, for your presentation. It was a great one. And I think that you cover everything, and this is maybe why we have only one question up to now on the control panel. So can you please reconfirm when the facelift on the rooms will be completed?
Yes, so the plan right now is for at least half of the rooms to be completed by next season. But the goal is to have the entire, all of the hotels, all 74, done by October 1st, which is when the season starts. So just to I think I mentioned that we are seasonal operation from October to April. So we're actually getting ready to close the hotel now for the season. But the work has already started. So a couple of rooms are already, our pilot rooms are finished. And now we're hoping to finish all of them by October 1st for next season, but we will definitely keep everybody posted and share photos once we're able to.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. We have another question from Benjamin. Can you please let us know how much the packages usually cost? Can we make sort of a comparison between the hotel and those W circuits that you were mentioning along the trekking circuits, more or less, just to have an idea?
Oh, so I get this question a lot, but it can be a really big difference depending on how your clients are staying, because we have the simple camping options, we have premium camping options, we have the refugio options, we have the cabins as well as an upgrade. So the pricing can really vary a lot. Just to give you kind of like a starting point, Hotel Las Torres starts around $950, $1,000 per person per night for all inclusive. And camping can, if you wanted to do the full circuit, that would probably start around 1,000 for the whole circuit. So like 4 nights, 5 days.
Okay,
just to give you an
thank
idea,
you.
but definitely,
Yeah.
Anna, you will share the brochures with them with all of the pricing and everything, because again, it can vary a lot, but that's just to give you an idea.
Yeah, and even if this webinar was intended to be focused 100% on the hotel, because Las Torres Patagonia own and operate also the campings and the mountain hostels and the trekking circuits, on the follow-up email that you all will get on your inbox, we will include not only the digital brochure and rates from the hotel, but also for the trekking circuit. So you will get all the pricing for both options. Then the other question we have from Anahi, is the hotel family friendly?
So yes and no. We don't have any age limits, so we do get, like avid, more adventurous clients that take their kids and they have like the babies and the hiking backpacks and everything. So yes, in that regard, we have cribs available if necessary, but we don't have babysitting or kids specific activities, if that makes sense. So all of the activities are the same. Our guides are very flexible. Everything is very much tailor-made to each client, but there aren't there's not a kids center, there's not kids specific things.
Yeah, and even if they are not sort of kid activities, I want to highlight that the all-inclusive program of the hotel includes, it's all-inclusive, as mentioned, as Sarah mentioned, and as for the activities and excursions, they include a menu of more than 15 half-day and full-day tours that clients, your clients can choose from, and they are sort of very active activities or excursions like full-day hiking, but there are also some other activities like photography tours, van tours, navigations to the glaciers, small walks, horseback riding. So it's basically something that can be done not only also by children, but also if you have someone, I don't know, that had a knee replacement, maybe will not be doing the hiking, but will be able to do other activities, other excursions, or if you have senior travelers, or if you have a multi-gen trip, the teenagers can do one activity, grandpas can do another one, and they can all meet for lunch, and everybody will be getting fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So another question we have from John, is the W Trek Classic using the refugios the same as the W Trek returning to the hotel each night, which I think it was the W in Comfort, right?
Yes, the W in Comfort is the same, but you're returning to the hotel each night, yes.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Here again, we have Maria asking if there's a minimum age for children. There's not. And how we can accommodate a family in one room. Do we have triples? Do we have family rooms, connecting rooms?
Yep, we have all of those. We have triples, we have connecting rooms, we have singles, doubles, twins, whatever you need, we can make it work. I think we're one of the few properties with triples actually available in the area.
Okay, so in a connecting room, I think you can have a triple connected to a double, if I'm not wrong.
I think there's one that is a triple connected to a double, yes. I don't want to confirm that just in case it changes during the remodel.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, we will still have interconnecting rooms. It may just be 2 doubles. It might not be a triple with a double, okay. But we do have interconnecting available, yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Is private touring available at an extra charge?
Yep, at an extra charge. You just have to let us know in advance.
Okay. Then Benjamin is asking, is this ideal for solo travelers or more so for couples and small groups? I would say for everyone.
All of them, all of them. I
Yeah.
think it's great for solo travelers because we do have the Pionero Bar, as I mentioned, is such a great area. It's really the heart of the hotel. It's a great area for socializing, so you will surely make new friends and you won't feel alone just by having a meal or two in the bar area. And because our excursions are with small groups as well, you're always gonna get to meet new people and you won't really feel like you're totally alone. And then also great for couples. We've recently been getting lots of like millennial honeymooners. Active honeymoons has been really popular. And then also our biggest audience has always been kind of like 60 plus, so ticking off bucket list destinations. And as Anna mentioned before, we actually have 22 excursions available right now, so there's definitely something for all levels. You don't have to be intimidated by Patagonia. It's not only for super avid hikers. There's really something for everybody.
Okay. Are there any fishing excursions offered?
No, we do not offer fishing excursions. There's actually no fishing in the park. I know that there's some tour operators who offer fishing excursions, but outside of the park. So I'm sure our team could recommend some companies to you, but we actually don't include it in our excursions.
Okay. And for John asking about fishing, even if we are speaking about Torres del Paine and Chile, I will send you by email, John, more information about River House Lodge Patagonia, which is that small property in Argentina, which is in fact a paradise for people interested in fly fishing. So please expect my email, John, about fishing in River House. Then another question, how does the excursion booking process work once the clients are confirming the stay at the hotel?
Yeah, so once the clients are confirmed, generally your reservations executive will reach out about a month prior to their arrival date and request their preferences. So these are just their preferences. You can share the excursions list with them and they can, kind of tell you maybe 3 or 4, well, depending on the length of their stay, that they would really want to do. This helps our excursions team to plan ahead and ensure that they have enough guides available during those dates for each activity. But everything will be reconfirmed once they arrive at the hotel. So you don't have to worry, nothing's going to be set in stone. Everything will be very much tailor-made to each guest upon arrival. It'll be very personalized. We understand that weather is always a factor in Patagonia. If they really wanted to do horseback riding on their first day, but they get there and it's snowing, we can definitely always make adjustments for that. And also for people's physical, a lot of people either overestimate or underestimate their physical abilities. And so that'll all get reviewed once they're at the hotel with their guide.
Awesome. How long does it take the transfer from El Calafate in Argentina to Hotel Las Torres in Torres del Paine National Park?
It's about 5 to 6 hours.
5 to 6 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want to mention again the flight timing between Santiago, Puerto Natales, Punta Arenas, and then the transfer time from Puerto Natales, Punta Arenas, and Calafate, so people have that in mind?
So the best way of getting to directly to Las Torres, any flight from the States into Santiago is going to be an overnight flight. So you get into Santiago super early in the morning, and then you can fly either directly down to Puerto Natales, which is about an 1.5-hour flight, and then a 2-hour transfer. Or you can fly to Punta Arenas. Punta Arenas is actually the more common option, even though it's a longer transfer. It's about 5 hours. Just because the airlines tend to have more frequent flights to Punta Arenas than Puerto Natales. The Puerto Natales flights tend to be available only during the season, the high season, and only on certain days of the week. So they tend to be a lot harder to find, but you can always fly to Punta Arenas, which is again about 5 hours. Las Torres actually has another really great USP. We have a great another estancia, another ranch, which is about halfway between the Punta Arenas Airport and the Torres del Paine National Park. It's called Cerro Negro Estancia. This is a 100-year-old ranch, which is still a working ranch. It still has sheep. So guests will get to stop there. It helps to break up that really long 5-hour transfer. They can either have lunch there, which will be a traditional Patagonian barbecue, or they'll have like a tea time depending on what time of day they're arriving. But it's a nice meal and way to break up the trip. They'll get to see the sheep shearing most of the time. They'll see the Pyrenees mountain dogs that protect the sheep from the pumas and other predators, and they'll get to see the house, which is actually more of a museum. It's been perfectly preserved. It's over 100 years old. So it's just a really nice welcome into the region and makes that 5-hour transfer feel a little bit shorter. And then just to go back quickly to the El Calafate transfer is also about 5 to 6 hours. You do have to go over customs at the top of the Andes. So depending on how long that line is moving, it can be 5 to 6 hours, and they do switch vans due to Argentinian law. We can't cross over in a Chilean van, but we handle all of that for you.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have any more questions on the control panel. I think that this was a great presentation and you cover everything. So thank you so much for that, Sarah. Just to wrap up, as I was mentioning at the beginning, we have been recording this presentation. So please expect to receive the recording and more information about rates, photos, videos of Las Torres on your email next Monday. So please check your inbox, and then you will be able to find this recording also on our website, emergingdestinations.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations. And anything you need, you can just drop me a line, Anna with one N at emergingdestinations.com. So this is all from my side. I will leave Sarah to wrap up and close this training session. So on my side, thank you so much, Sarah, for this amazing presentation, and to our travel advisors connected today, thank you so much for your time and for your interest in Las Torres Patagonia and Hotel Las Torres Patagonia, and thank you for supporting Emerging Destinations portfolio. So over to you, Sarah.
No, that was great, Anna. Thank you all so much for joining. Those are amazing questions. And yeah, thank you. We'll be in touch.
Cool. Have a